So here is our final assembly. Now, up to this point, we have added components with one single configuration. But now let's talk about adding components containing several configurations. And I'm going to start with just a simple one so as to set the groundwork for components containing configurations. So to add a simple component, I'm just going to open this door here and maybe this one too. All right. And here, as you can see, we have these hinges which are completely attached as if it's glued together. But of course, we need to add the screws here. So let's add the screw. For that, I'll go to Insert Component, and from the same folder, which is File Cabinet, I'm going to add the hinge screw. So in this case, we have the hinge screw right here. Now this hinge screw contains just one single configuration, and you can see that right here. So in the configuration, if you click this drop down, you'll find just one single configuration that's default, and always every component is going to have one configuration that's the default one. So with that, I'll just click open and I'll add it right about here. So that's the simple screw. Now let's just add it. But to add it, I'm going to use the Smart Mate. So I'll just select this face, press and hold Alt key and move it right here. And it will automatically apply the concentric snap or the concentric mate. So I'll click OK and we are done. Now we can also make this circle coincident on this one. So Control select this one and just make it coincident. All right, and that's done. So that's how you can add a simple component here. And we've been doing that for quite some time now. Now, in a similar way, we can add screws for all of these other components, but this one is a simple component with no configuration. And here, as you can see, it's not even moving outside. So it's just long enough to sit inside this panel board. But what if you want to use a single screw for several purposes? For example, if we want to use just one single screw for this and also the same screw for these drawer channels. So here also you can see that we have all these holes where we just need to add screws and the bolts. And for that, well, you can just make one single screw and use it everywhere using configuration. So for that, let's add one more screw that can be used here. And this one contains two configurations. So I'll go to Insert Component. And again, in the same folder, we have the drawer screw right here. Now this one contains two configurations. The first one is default and the second one is small. So we have two configurations. I'm just going to select default once again, but you can start with this small configuration as well. So with default, I'll just click open and I'll add this screw maybe right here. Okay, so that's added. Now also I'll hide this cabinet. So I'll just go to this cabinet and I'll select hide component so that we can see what's going on inside. And now I'm going to add it on these holes. Now to add it, once again, you can use the Smart Mate. So select this face, press and hold the Alt key and move it all the way up to this hole. Now when you do so, it should automatically let you snap, but it's not doing that. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit and I'll repeat it one more time. So I'll just move it, and right here, now we have the concentric one. So let go and it is automatically applied. So click OK. All right, so that's done. Now we'll add once again the coincident mate. So I'll select this circle, that edge, and Control select this edge and apply the coincident one. All right, now it's in its place and it's properly added as well. But this one, as you can see, is quite big and it's actually overlapping this fillet. So it's certainly not a screw for this channel and we need to use its smaller configuration. Now, if you want to use its smaller configuration, then select the drawer screw and just change it. So to change the configuration, select it, then go to Properties. And here you can see all the configurations which are built into this. So this is the default, and then we have a small one. Select small, click OK, and we are done. Now we have the smaller version of the same screw and it's not even overlapping the fillets. So that's the one which we need. Now, depending on the requirement, you can use the same screw for different situations if you've built several configurations into it. And this smaller one is just long enough to remain inside the board as well. So I'm just going to bring back the board and here it is. it won't even go outside this board. So this perfectly fits it, and in a similar way you can add a screw for all of these holes. So we have added it just for one, but you can add it here, and you can add the one for this one as well, simply by hiding all of these channels and then add the screw and bring it all back together. And you can do the same for all of these extra holes. So in this way you can use components that contain several different configurations in your assembly.